Hello everyone, in the following presentation, my colleague Jose Morales Maciel Salas and myself, Oriana Contreras, will be talking about international logistics. Logistics and transportation. Logistics is defined as the process of planning, implementing, and controlling the flow of raw materials. In process inventory, finishes, goods, and related information. From the point of origin to the point of compensation is the most efficient and economical way possible in order to meet the requirements of the end customer. International transportation and logistics is a complex process which starts with the arrival of the order from foreign markets and ends only with the delivery of the product to the customer. The means of transport, documentation, insurance, and packaging among other aspects require great professionalism of the part of the those responsible for logistic management, and this complexity is accentuated by the import barriers imposed by the legislation of some countries. The importance of the goods logistic management lies mainly in the cost at the customers. Service logistics costs includes inventory management, order processing, freighting, forwarding, insurance, warehousing, handling, loading and unloading, packing guide, and documentation. Logistics is of strategic importance to company. Studies show that the competitive advantage of some companies lies precisely in their logistic operations. Components. There are five elements of logistics. 1. A strong warehousing and materials handling. 2. Packing and utilization. 3. Inventory. 4. Transport. 5. Information and control. Okay, we have the first storage material handling and warehouses. To enable a steady stream to produce to buy supply by the manufacturers. Manufacturers need to operate at the peak efficiency, but customers tend not to demand the goods at the same rate as manufacturers supply them. There tends to be an imbalance between supply, which is steady, and demand, which can be understated capable. The answer is not stored that surplus goods produced by a manufacturer until they are demanded by customers. To achieve these warehouse volumes are required specialist strong equipment such as shelves or racks and material handling equipment to move the around the warehouse and the load and unload delivery vehicles. We have two packing and unloading stations. A key component of the logistics is the car and condensation of the product. Packaging is an essential part of the that unloading station is as important as its assistance storage and the transportation. The assistance produced to move and store is a curve so packing guide and the unloading station and events to take a different size and shapes of products and pack them as near as possible into covered shape.
3. Inventory. Inventory is a logistic element that is closely related to storage and warehousing. It is concerned with what stock to hold, where the stock is located, and how much stock to hold. In effect, inventory is controlling the flows and goods going into and out of warehousing. From sales data of packed order and using various mathematical and statistical tools to attempt to predict how much goods will be demanded by consumers. Inventory management is a not exact science, but depends how variable demand can be. It is a useful tool to help manage the flow of goods through the supply chains. 4. Transport. Include almost of transport including road vehicles, freight trains, cargo shipping, and air transport. Without transport, goods will be unable to move from one state to another within a supply chain. Some goods with short supply chains, such as foods, do not travel far. Other more complex products consist of many components that can be transported from all over the world. 5. Information and control. The element of information and control is needed by all the elements to adapt as trigger to various operational producers. Other levels help decide what orders need to be packed and packed in warehousing and enable the planning and organization of transport. Information and control roles. It is to help design information systems that can control operational procedures. They also key the forecasting of demand and inventory. Operators. In order to rationalize procurement, production, and distribution activity, a new type of company dedicated to the provision of logistics services has appeared, known as a logistic operator. It offers a wide range of services from physical distribution, warehousing, stock management, invoicing, or merchandising. The main advantages of working with a logistic operator are economy of investments, since the large investments required in warehouses, loading equipment, vehicles are assumed by the operator, who amortizes them and diversifying its activity and clearly. Transfer of costs. Many of the fixed costs assumed by the shipper, vehicles, warehouse personnel become variable since they are only borne in each specific operation. Service. The professionalization of the logistic operator makes it possible to offer a good service to its shipper customers. Flexibility. The service contract can be revoked at the end of this term. The distribution network can be remodeled without investment or personal commitments. The logistic operator has to deliver the right product at the right time and place, at the lower cost. All the above advantages have led to a significant development of sourcing of logistics services.
Hubs or logistic platforms. This is one of the most current concepts in logistic activity and can be defined as an area especially designed for the development of activities related to logistics, transportation, and distribution of goods in national and international traffic. The objectives of the platforms are the following: to become a pole of attraction for an industrial and consumer area, for which they must have good communication with the transport system in general, ports, airports, railway stations, and multimodal terminals. Concentrate the heavy transport in them in order to collaborate the disconnection of urban distribution circuits by means of the so-called load brick, thus obtain advantage in terms of quality of life the community. To rationalize the use of transport vehicles, making the most of their technical and commercial characteristics. To offer auxiliary transport operations such as paying, labeling, collection and distribution, warehousing, computerized mourning, and others. To massify diffuse flows through the use and extra-side loading and transport units for the subsequent routing at the lower cost through the major transport hubs. To group goods by logistic families are related products such as perishable, dangerous, valuable, and others, thus making investments in storage, handling, and transport means proliferate. And finally, to serve as a linking node with the other logistic platforms in the geographical area in which they are located through logistic corridors. This concept is extensive to all means of transport, signports, airports, rail terminals, or road transport centers are first and foremost logistic platforms, as can be a private distribution platform designed with the objective described above.